Call regular city council meeting Monday, November 28th to order. Clerk call the roll, please.
Alderman Putoff. Here. Ferrari. Here. Waldorf. Here. Lukosius. Here. Radke. Here. Sapienza. Here. Payton. Here. Ballard. Here. Mayor Harrell.
Here, please rise, pledge of allegiance. Okay, presentation, economic development. Bob Vickery, would you put your presentation together here?
Thank you, Mayor Harrell and members of the council. I guess it's safe to say that Christmas is going to come early to the city of Peru tonight. We're going to have a presentation for a new endeavor that's going to be located in the former West Clocks building, and between the two entities, Cody Grandadam and Tim Turgeon, and Bob Windy and Jeff Yasowitz, who you will hear from, in excess of $1 million in capital improvements will be put into the West Clocks building. So I'm just going to turn it over to Bob Windy, and Bob, if you want to start it out.
Okay, thank you. We would like to thank the Honorable Mayor Harrell, the Peru City Council, and Bob Vickery for this opportunity to present our exciting plans to you tonight for consideration. My name is Bob Windy. I'm a graphic artist and native of Peru, Illinois. Being a native of Peru, this project is very dear to me and has been a labor of love for me and my business partner, Jeff, for over a year now. We originally planned to develop our business in Chicago, but Jeff and I saw a unique opportunity here in my hometown of Peru that we believe will benefit our business, the city of Peru, and the local economy. I've always wanted to return to Peru and contribute to the revitalization of the economy here. We believe our plan will enable these exciting things to happen. Our proposed project is to open a craft distillery and an adjacent tasting room in the historic West Clocks building. Using our experience, we plan to produce craft distillates made from fruits and grains. West Clocks holds really special memories for me. My grandfather worked at the West Clocks building for over 40 years. I remember going to the yearly Christmas parties that West Clocks held for the employees and their families, and the Peru Municipal Band would perform, and the families celebrated the holiday season there. Jeff and I have a slide presentation to illustrate why we feel locating our business in the West Clocks building and the Peru offers a great opportunity for not only our business, but for the surrounding community and the local economy. So without further ado, I would like to introduce my good friend and business partner, Jeff Yasowitz.
Honorable Mayor, City Council, by way of introduction, my name is Jeff Yasowitz. I'm a licensed Illinois attorney, having practiced law for the past 25 years, most recently at two large financial services companies. As my longtime friend Bob Windy alluded to, we'd like to take our winemaking passion to the next level by opening a craft distillery in the West Clocks building. And so without further delay, I'd like to show you a little more about the plan and the excitement through this brief presentation. So if you take a look at this picture, I'd like to introduce Star Union Spirits. That front door over there will be opened after 30 years of being shut and closed, and that window right there to the left will be open as well, and you'll see a shiny new still through it. The reason we're doing this, craft spirits are reporting double-digit growth in both dollars and cases in consecutive periods, 2 years ago, year ago, and the latest. Some of the top reasons for consumers buying craft spirits: they taste better, special occasions, locally produced, unique, higher quality ingredients. So Star Union Spirits is introduced as a craft distillery that would specialize in manufacturing artisan distillation sourced from both fruits and grains. Many start with just grains, and many start with fruits only. But doing both will enable us to have more offerings compared to other distilleries. This is a problem worth solving because the Illinois Valley lacks any craft distilleries despite having a brewery, Tangled Roots, as well as a successful winery, August Hill. Star Union Spirits will be the first craft distillery in Peru, drawing tourists from Starved Rock and beyond. Our solution will develop unique distillations loved by those that enjoy spirits in the ever-expanding craft spirits world. Our flavor profiles will add deliciousness to bartenders and consumers' mixed cocktail profile. Bob was born and raised in Peru, but we also happened to see this in the news, and this was the reason we came here as well. Essentially, what it boils down to is we will be a manufacturing business at its heart. But our equipment will be a focal point and have museum-quality beauty. And that's actually a picture of one of the stills that we will be ordering. It's kind of unique because the helmet is beside the column, and the condensing column is on the other side. The people we're going to order our still from is Cote. It's a German manufacturer. They have no seams within their still, and they have a deflegmator that further refines the distillation process. The deflegmator is on the top of the still. This is the couple who founded Koval Distillery in Chicago. It was the first craft distillery to open since Prohibition in Chicago. One of their relatives owns Cote, and they are the exclusive representative of the distill manufacturer out of Germany for the U.S. We will also have tanks like this for fermentation, and this is the process. You take grain or fruit, you mash it and ferment it, you distill it, you add water or macerate it with other finishes, such as blending. You can barrel age it or not, and then you would bottle it. These are the parts of the still: the column, the pot, and the condenser. Essentially, you put the mash in, and there are plates in the column on the left. And as you can either open those or close those to increase the alcohol content or not. But alcohol burns off at a lower temperature than water, and so the alcohol burns off and goes up those plates and becomes further refined and then condenses in the condenser in a water bath. This is the inside of the still. This is a bubble plate. You can see it's all copper because that interacts with the distillate and produces a little smoother whiskey. We'll of course have cleaning and trench drains built in. These are the parts of the barrel. Very self-evident. This is our barrel partner in Avon, Minnesota. Actually took a trip up there and watched the barrel production. The ones with the silver rings are actually production barrels for whiskey. The ones with the black rings are actually display barrels. And this is how you store barrels, on these metal racks. Education. We attended a 5-day class on the business at Koval, and will similarly educate consumers on our business. Our target market will be Illinois Valley, the Illinois Valley, Chicago, the rest of Illinois, other states, and international. Cooperation. So many bars and restaurants are offering these days more and more varied craft whiskey selections, as you see. So we will reach out to all those bars around here and around the Illinois Valley and in Chicago and elsewhere. This is a picture of the Illinois Spirit Trail Map. And as you can see, this gold star here represents us. There's a handful of distilleries already operating in the Chicago and surrounding suburbs. There's an outlier up in Galena, and there are 2 outliers down here in Columbia and also in Carbondale, right, exactly. Carbondale and Columbia. So we feel this position right here in the middle between 39 and Route 80 in the Illinois Valley, very close to Starved Rock, is ideal. How our solution is better. Again, we'll be located near Routes 80 and 39, your major tourist attraction. There are 2.3 million visitors to Starved Rock per year. We'll have greater variety of products available distilled from fruits and grains. Whiskey Acres is actually in DeKalb, so they're our closest distillery, and we have become good friends with the distiller there and owner. So we might buy some grain from him. Sales channels. Star Union Spirits will partner with a local or regional distributor to distribute products, but also have a dynamic adjacent tasting room where customers can sample and purchase our products. This is a picture of the Illinois Spirit Trail Map. And as you can see, this gold star here represents us. There's a handful of distilleries already operating in the Chicago and surrounding suburbs. There's an outlier up in Galena, and there are 2 outliers down here in Columbia, and also in We have industry advisors with alcohol industry experience on our advisory board. Jim Powers from Parse Rum, a U.S. company producing Columbia rum and importing it. Scott Crestodina, proprietor of Independent Spirits in Chicago, recently voted the best whiskey store in Chicago. Bob McDermott owns a beer bistro, prominent bar in Chicago, and Peru's own Patty Hall. The tasting room will be a gathering place that offers cocktails mixed with whiskeys and brandies produced exclusively at the distillery. Illinois law allows a distillery to sell mixed drinks using only the spirits that were made at the distillery. So if we had to add a vermouth, we'd have to make it. But you can mix it with orange juice or other non-alcoholic mixers. Patrons will be able to see a production of our spirits while in the tasting room. And our goal is to have an open view to the making of the whiskey, similar to this picture. This is a current view of the West Clocks atrium, and if you look beyond the stairs, that is our space. On the other side of the stairs is where Cody and Tim proposed to put another exciting development. And this is before, and this is a rendition after of that same atrium. Here's our space, and here's a drawing of our space by our architect. So the front is a tasting room, and behind it is production. There'll be a small still beyond a sort of a glass wall, and on the left, toward the windows, that will be a future larger still, and then a staff room in the back, boiler, grain mill, refrigerator for fruits, and open space in the middle really for bottle filling, barrel filling, grain storage, etc. This is an isometric view which will help you visualize it a little bit better. And here is another angle looking back toward the stairs. We'll have two, what I believe to be will be garage type doors with a door next to it, so that we can open it up to that atrium and or the hall to get a forklift in there. Community involvement and community support. We'll see community grassroots support with fun bottle filling events. We'll envision, such as 10 couples joining us to help fill our bottles. Local foods and product samples will be provided to our volunteers at these events. The picture below is a bottle filler. Economic development. We envision creation of 7 to 12 jobs in the next 6 years, 2 to 5 in the first year. We're working locally with Premier Properties to build out our space. Our distillery will help attract other businesses to West Clocks, and Cody can talk to that point.
So my name, as Jeff mentioned, is Cody Granadam. This is my partner, Tim Turzin. Testing. So this is Tim Turzin, and together we own the West Clocks building. And we purchased the West Clocks building about 3 years ago. And as everybody in here knows, that there was a great fire at the West Clocks building. And at the time of the fire, we didn't lose, but almost all the tenants left the building. And so at the time, Tim had 3 businesses in there. We had Premier Products, and then I think there was 3 or 4 other tenants in the building. And we thought it made sense to buy the building because we were renting so much space in the facility. And I was born in Peru, lived here my whole life, Tim as well, and we thought that the West Clocks building, being such a big building and an historic part of the community, that it really deserved to had more attention made to it. So we bought the building 3 years ago. There were 7 tenants in the building, and on the west wing we had 1 tenant, and that was Music Suite 408. And at Music Suite 408, they have 15 different music instructors, and kids and adults of all ages come in and they get music lessons. And at the time, she had 200 students. And so Tim and I felt that we needed to keep that type of culture in the building, and so we started to market that as an area where people could come, they could bring their kids in. And we've probably all seen the movie Field of Dreams, and they said if you build it, they will come. And so that's what we did. And so our next tenant was Audio Out, a music recording studio. And then shortly after that, it was the Paint Box, which once a month a new artist exhibits their art. And then we had the West Clocks Fine Arts Factory. And that wing was pretty much filled up. So then we had to start moving to another direction. And, today we have Maven Hair Studio in there. We have Tana Yoga. We have a day spa moving in. And now we have an 8,000 square foot gymnastics facility. And that wing is almost completely full. And so we want to do that in the center of the building. And right now the center of the building is about 50,000 square feet. Our warehouse is in a portion of that, but we're planning on moving that. And we really feel that this distillery will be the epicenter of a lot of activity to come. So we're going to build off that momentum. We're going to market it that way. And as Jeff showed you in the picture, there's a great entrance to the building. And to the left of that's going to be the distillery. And we envision a very nice high-class restaurant being to the right of that. And we've actually already had a gentleman and his wife come here from Chicago to look at that location. And just beyond that, we're going to be opening up an event center. And, we have a lot of great plans, and we know it starts with this. And just like the West Wing, we really haven't done any advertising. We don't go out marketing people. They really come to us. And we feel that this is going to create a lot of a big buzz for the community. Jeff said that 7 to 12 jobs will be created by the distillery, but I think it's going to have a much larger trickle effect than that. And then on top of that, when you think about economic development, of course you want your locals' dollars to stay here, but it's also important to get money from outside the community. And, Tim can speak on this. Tim and his wife, in the summer, they take their car out and take the top down, and they drive to Wisconsin or Chicago, and they visit all different breweries. And on that map that you saw earlier, you saw there's a lot of breweries in the Chicago area and distilleries. And I believe there's one in Moline as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there are now, I believe, 29 active distilleries. That map showed 17 of them, but most of them are still really close in the circle of Chicago area.
So you think of people in Moline that are traveling different distilleries and making their way up to Chicago. Really, the West Clocks building is the perfect pit stop right off of 80 and 39. And so those people that are coming here, they might go to the tasting room to have a drink and then go to the restaurant in the West Clocks building, and they might need somewhere to stay that night too. So I really believe that this is going to be a great thing, obviously, for the West Clocks building, but all the local businesses as well. So,
thank you.
Go ahead.
The next point will generate tourism from Starved Rock. Did you want to say something to that?
This is a really big part of our business model. When we were originally looking for a spot, it was very important that we had a destination spot that we could draw from. It's a big part of our business model. At some point, we plan on having our product distributed. But really, the front end of our business model is to draw our revenue from the tourism industry. We want the tourism industry to flow from Starved Rock into Peru. That is our number one point when we made our business plan. It was to generate that from Starved Rock. We feel that with 2.3 million people staying at Starved Rock every year, they should be coming into Peru because Peru is a historically significant town, and I think there's a great story to be told of its history, and we'll be part of that. And we're going to reach into the past, but we're also going to be projecting to the future.
And that goes into the story about our name as well. As many know, there was a long history of alcohol manufacturing in this area with two large breweries, the Peru Brewery Beer Company, as well as Star Union Brewery. And we want to take that heritage and go forward with the distillery as a spirit. We'll also generate sales taxes. Our partners. We've already engaged Satellite Office to help us with our brand story and marketing. Recently, they led the successful rebranding of Great Lakes Brewery products and developed the brand for Tomstown Distillery in Kansas City. Great Lakes is out of Cleveland. They also engaged Bowman Design to develop our tasting room and architectural drawings. Their recent projects include Virtue Cider in Thunsville, Michigan. Virtue Cider is owned by Greg Hall, whose father started Goose Island Brewery. We've also filed a trademark with our name. Marketing activities will grow by word of mouth. We'll also have a dynamic online presence at startunionspirits.com. We'll partner with local breweries and wineries and other local businesses and attractions to capture visitors from those attractions. For example, breweries are often these days using aged, empty bourbon barrels to flavor their beers. So, we might have a trading program with another brewery in the area. We also our spent mash after you cook it and dry it can be used as feed for livestock. Team and key roles. You see them right in front of you here. Upcoming milestones. Meet with some City Council committee. We did that last week. Meet with Peru City Council. We're doing that tonight. And propose the craft distillery category to be added by ordinance. Then some of our other milestones on our mission are to actually apply for the license, get our water tested by PEST, which is right here locally, sign our lease, order our still, and file with the TTB. The TTB is the Department of Treasury, and there you can go online and see the time it takes for them to process your application. Last I looked, it was around 200 plus days. But you must start locally, and that's why we're here. In Illinois, you obtain a local liquor license first, then you gather the documents, and then you submit them to Illinois. This is another forthcoming requirement, BASSET, Beverage Alcohol Sellers and Service Education and Training. BASSET is the State of Illinois Responsible Beverage Server Program. Under Illinois Liquor Control Commission, it's designed to encourage profitable, responsible, and legal alcohol sales and service. Goals and objectives are essentially to create safer communities where alcohol is served, spot underage drinking, prevent DUIs, not serve intoxicated individuals, and educate people. Beginning July 1st, 2018, all on-premise alcohol servers and those required to check ID throughout Illinois are mandated to take and pass BASSET. LaSalle County, its date for effective date is July 1st, 2017. And over the weekend, I became licensed and BASSET certified in both on-premise and off-premise training requirements. This is a map of the certification dates, actually. And the gray area is where we're located, and that's July 1st, 2017. Chicago has been, I think it's since been 2015, actually. Funding. Starting Spirits has been funded by us exclusively at the moment, but we're also looking into additional capital sources to help with startup costs and operating expenses. These are some of our partners: Barrel Mill, Cote Stills, wine grapes from partners. We have gotten our wine grapes from California, but we've had discussions with the winery around here who grows his grapes, I believe, in Peru. And friends and family, folks that share our passion. As we discussed, we want to uncover these windows and continue the rebirth of the West Clocks building. Thank you. Questions?
Hopefully, yes, we're hoping to do that quite often. We will also refill them on demand.
How much are you allowed to directly sell out of the tasting room? You said you could sell
So I
some
think there's
directly.
I think it's 2,500 gallons per year under Illinois law. Right. The craft distilleries, they had a limit on them of 35,000 gallons until about a year ago, and that was increased to 100,000 gallons actually produced, and you can sell 2,500 gallons per year out of your tasting room. Gallons.
Yeah.
Right.
Any other questions? Great.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm going to move around a little bit on the agenda here, and we'll go straight to the ordinance that is part of the presentation here tonight, an ordinance amending the Code of Ordinances See approved by adding a new section 6-92A, Class A, providing for the craft distiller's license. So do we have a motion to approve this ordinance as written and read?
So moved, Your Honor.
I will second it, Your Honor.
And that will be with striking number 5, which says there's no more than one license in force at this time. So is that what we decided beforehand? We'll strike number 5. And what that is for you out there is, number 5 said no more than one Class A license shall be enforced at any one time. So we're taking that out, and doesn't really affect you at all. But anyway, I have a motion from Alderman Putoff, and I have a second from Alderman Ferrari. Is there any discussion?
Well, the only discussion is some of our other liquor licenses, we don't have any restrictions on those, so. On number, so that's why we don't want any restrictions on this.
Okay, and any other discussion? Okay, we'll have a roll call vote, clerk call roll.
Well, we had put that in there because we're making a substantial capital investment here in Peru, and I had gathered that from another municipality who had put that in there to protect the startup business.
I can understand that. We didn't really discuss that.
No, I'm,
I can make various ordinances for the safety of the public, and usually alcohol falls under that category. So it's the same thing when we talk about video gaming ordinances and allowing how many people we have with the video gaming machines. It's along the same lines there to regulate that sort of activity.
well, I don't know. What's the prerogative then, yeah?
You know, I don't have a problem with it because quite naturally anybody that comes in the city can draw additional licenses or nullify this, and I think these gentlemen need it from a capital standpoint and a financing standpoint.
Yeah.
So I don't have a problem at all by keeping it in no more than one Class A license being enforced at any one point in time. So, I mean...
No, that's a fair argument, yeah. That's what I was driving at.
And, you know, I think that's probably the way to do it. And now remember, you're not going to have a distillery open up in every neighborhood, because quite obviously it isn't going to happen, and it's probably not the way to go.
Okay, so we'll leave number 5 intact.
Yeah, that's...
Okay.
Would be the motion, I would say, Your Honor.
Right. Okay, so as written and read. Okay, and we still have the motion from Alderman Putoff, a second by Alderman Ferrari, as written and read. Is there any further discussion? Okay, we'll have a roll call vote, clerk call roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf. Aye. Prokosius.
Aye.
Radke.
Aye.
Sapienza. Payton.
Aye.
Ballard.
Aye.
Motion approved.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're going to try to open in around August, if everything goes well.
Thank you.
Can't wait.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Bob?
Okay, we have a motion to receive the minutes and place on file.
So moved. Second.
Have a motion, a second, to receive minutes, place on file. Any discussion? All in favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carried. Do we have a motion to receive the financial reports, place on file?
So moved, Your Honor.
Second, Your Honor.
Have a motion to receive the financial reports, place on file. Is there any discussion? All in favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carried. Have a motion to receive the activity reports, place on file.
So moved, Your Honor.
Second.
Have a motion, a second, to receive activity reports, place on file. Any discussion?
Yes, Your Honor. Reading from the Water and Wastewater Treatment Plants report for October 2016. At the water treatment plant, we treated 77.7 million gallons. At the wastewater treatment plants, we've treated at the east plant 87 million gallons, and at the west plant, 37.5 million gallons.
Any further discussion? All in favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carried. Move on to committee reports. Finance, Safety Services, Chairman Putoff.
Your Honor, Alderman Radke will handle disbursements tonight.
So total disbursements for November 30, 2016 are $1,915,376.28. I move that this report be received, placed on file, and the bills paid, usual manner.
Second, Your Honor.
Have a motion and a second, receive the disbursements and pay the bills in the usual manner. Any discussion? Have a roll call vote, clerk call roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf.
Aye.
Lukosius.
Aye.
Radke.
Aye.
Sapienza. Peyton.
Aye.
Ballard.
Aye.
Motion approved.
Your Honor, Santa Ferrari will give the next.
Yes. Ho. I'd like to make a motion to approve a Christmas bonus for city employees, $50 for full-time and $25 for part-time.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve Christmas bonus for city employees, 50 for full-time, 25 for part-time. Is there any discussion? Have a roll call vote, clerk call roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf.
Aye.
Lukosius.
Aye.
Radke.
Aye.
Sapienza. Peyton.
Aye.
Ballard.
Aye.
Motion approved.
Alderman Payton, will you handle the city's property casualty and workman's compensation insurance?
Yes, sir. Your Honor, I'd like to make a motion to award the city's property and casualty and workers' compensation insurance with Arthur J. Gallagher and Company with the Illinois Municipal Insurance Cooperative in the amount of $420,018.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to award the property casualty to Arthur J. Gallagher and Company in the amount of $420,018. Is there any discussion?
Your Honor, this is a significant savings from last year. $80,000 savings from our renewal, over $100,000 from last year's bill. The insurance coverages are more and cover our property and just a little much better, I should say, much better.
One thing that I forgot to mention in our earlier discussion, but it is important, we've historically taken advantage on the Illinois Municipal League Risk Managed. They have a min-max policy. So by taking advantage of the min-max policy, our base premium renewal rates are lower, which is what we've done historically. It also does expose the city on the other end. If we were to have something catastrophic, we have a risk that would be significantly higher than our premium paid. So in the example of this year's renewal, our risks could have gone as high as $800,000 on the renewal. With the IMIC, our minimum renewal right now is the 4/20/18, and our maximum exposure would only expose us to about another $15,500 in a worst-case scenario. So there's some additional security by going with the policy with no maximum.
And I also understand it's a cooperative, just like our other company. Is there any out fee that we're responsible for? Is there any capital out fee that we're responsible for, meaning any payment to leave?
Any other discussion? There, we have a motion and a second. Alderman Putoff, Alderman Radke. Tom Payton. Alderman Payton. And Alderman Radke. Okay, we'll have a roll call, quick call roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf.
Aye.
Lukosius.
Aye.
Radke.
Aye.
Sapienza. Peyton.
Aye.
Ballard.
Aye.
Motion approved.
Thank you, Your Honor. That's all we have in that committee report.
Okay, Public Services, Chairman Waldorf.
Yes, sir. First off, I would like to make a motion to reject current bid and seek new bids for the demolition and tank removal at the Marathon gas station. This is something that went out in a rather, a little bit of a convoluted wording that put the people that remove the tanks and the people that tear down the building that don't cross over ever, and put them on edge. So
We went out for 3 bids, we only got 1, and so now we're going to reject that bid, change the wording, and go out for, and rebid it all. So Eric, do you have anything to add to that?
No, you summed it up pretty well. Just that I will be sending the bids back out after the holidays. And again, we'll be repackaging the bids, 2 separate packets, one for the demolition of the buildings and one for the removal of the tanks.
Thank you.
A motion and second to reject the current bid and seek new bids for the demolition tank removal at Marathon Gas Station. Any discussion? Have a roll call vote, clerk call roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf.
Aye.
Lukosius.
Aye.
Radke.
Aye.
Sapienza. Peyton. Ballard.
Motion approved.
Next, Your Honor, I'd like to make a motion to accept a low bid for purchase of 3 reels of 1 AWG 15 kVA wire from Annixter in the amount of $14,400. And basically, this is just to replenish inventory of the electric department.
I will second that, Your Honor, please.
We have a motion and second to accept the low bid from Annixter for $14,400 worth of wire. Is there any discussion? Have a roll call vote, clerk call roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf.
Aye.
Lukosius. Radke. Sapienza. Peyton. Ballard.
Motion approved.
Any other business, gentlemen? Chief? All right, that's all from Public Services, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay, report city attorney, ordinances, resolutions.
One other ordinance tonight, warrants levying taxes for corporate purposes for the city of Peru, Illinois for the fiscal year beginning on May 1st, 2016, and ending April 30th, 2017 inclusive.
Have a motion.
So moved, Your Honor.
Can you verify the amounts in the ordinance, please?
The total is $678,686, and that is split between the police pension fund, $609,876, and the fireman's pension fund tax, $68,810.
Okay, we have a motion and second. Any discussion?
I think the biggest difference, Your Honor, from previous years is the city is levying 100% of the taxes for pension funds. We haven't done that in the past, so the police pension fund and the fireman's pension fund will receive 100% of the taxes levied for the city of Peru. So basically, everything else within the city is paid for through sales tax or from use tax that we receive from electric department and things of that nature. So we're not levying anything for other services from the city except for the pension funds. And again, this $678,686 is still only a portion of what we'll be putting into the pension funds for this year. So it's not actually levying the entire portion, it's just a percentage of that.
Yeah, I would say, I think our police pension payment next year would be probably on the order of about $900,000, and we're levying $609,876. So we're really only levying about 2/3, maybe 60% of what we're going to have to spend on the police pension, and I imagine the fire pension is similar.
Any other discussion? Have a roll call vote, clerk call roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf.
Aye.
Lukosius.
Aye.
Radke.
Aye.
Sapienza.
Aye.
Peyton. Ballard.
Motion approved. Okay, do we have anything else from the city attorney?